Other than that, guys, welcome back again. Before we do anything else, I have a beautiful sponsor read. Gravity Disc Golf exists to exceed your out of this world expectation with unparalleled custom designs, disc, and apparel. Gravity is creating an atmosphere where disc golfers can enjoy every aspect of disc golf while blasting off with space themed design. No matter what you throw, Gravity has designs on almost every manufacturer and can make your game look great. They offer free shipping on orders over $75, and John includes a nice note to each customer. Make sure you check them out at gravityscoff.com to complete your bag. And let me tell you, Kyle, they are out of this world. Definitely use code KG10 or Thai DG10 to get 10% off your next order. Definitely go check them out. They have some cool apparel and some amazing things that are coming out as well too. Definitely after the podcast from last
hmm
weekend, Kyle and I sat there for about roughly an hour after the pod, and we literally just went through their use section, and they have some amazing stuff in there. Still some, uh, old like Eagle McMahon stuff from like Discmania, and they also have some things from like Gannonburg and Prodigy.
Guy
Um,
God's on there.
yeah, a couple other amazing things. So definitely go check that out, and definitely use one of our codes. But
Yes.
yeah, man, how you doing so far?
I am good. I am going through the effects of every single season being done in a single day
Hmm.
here in Illinois, because that's what happens during the end of February, beginning of March. We started out the day with 40 something degrees, felt pretty nice out, rainy by this afternoon. It snowed. Nothing stuck, of course, because it was too warm and stuff. And then it snowed long, but turned to snow eventually. And now it's freezing out and, the typical. And then by this weekend, by Sunday, when I have my Bucks tournament, which I did sign up for. So that's something I will be talking about.
Nice, nice.
Yes, yes. So I did sign up for the Bucks, but it's supposed to be 52, 53 again. And next week's supposed to be in the 60s because we live in the Midwest.
Yep.
There's spring, fourth winter, and it's just what it is here. So, but other than that, things are doing pretty well. I did go play around, which I'll get into as well. I went out Sunday finally to test out the knee with the brace just to see how that is. Played around with Josh and Tom Barnum, just guys from Sterling area, Dixon area.
Yeah,
They came to Walnut, so we'll talk about that a little bit about how I felt because I haven't played in over a month. So yeah, pretty good though. Pretty good.
absolutely. I haven't played anything yet since the tournament. The past two nights we have been having like 30-35 mile per hour wind. We're just getting
Oh,
massive.
we're getting windy too. Yeah, I think the whole United States right now is in like a massive vortex wind
Yeah.
tunnel.
It's pretty bad down here. Typical every night or every day so far had like a hour or so storm and then it'll stop. I mean, that's the whole point of living by an ocean.
hmm
Or golf, my bad. Living by the golf, you just deal with a lot of just that tropical storm in a way. So there's definitely it's just it's that weird season. So definitely tournaments are coming up like later in March and maybe in April. I'm gonna try to hit, but obviously we do have the Walnut Open on April 27th that we're gonna be doing, and then also that's the 27th, right?
Yes, it is.
And then I think that's confusing me because I think literally the iOS one is June 27th.
hmm
So that's why I think I'm a little confused, which is kind of funny. But yeah, but I did spoil it right there. But yeah, we'll be doing the lot open. And then also once again there is a tournament happening literally the day before we start our family vacation. So
Yes,
you bet Sarah and I are coming up early, and Kyle and I will be doing that one as well
hmm
because why the hell not? so
exactly.
so yeah, and I'm
Might
excited.
as well.
I haven't touched that course in almost 3 years now. I think has it been 3 years now? So
I think so.
I'm excited to see how I play that one. That one's nice. I like it. It's very technical. A lot of some a lot of elevator shots. Especially I forgot what hole that is, but that one that you have to just shoot it straight up that huge hill. Um, it's like it doesn't even feel far, but with that elevation, it makes it totally difficult. But I love it though. So excited to do that one. And then I have some that are coming up down here that I'm gonna try to sign up for if a lot of things are filling up pretty quickly down here for some reason, which I don't remember that happening last year. So I don't know if there's been like a weird shift, but also at the same time though, this year seems very light for tournaments down here for some reason. Last year there seemed quite a bit more. Now there's not much happening around, I feel like. So I think it's a lot of like a lot of people wanting to play disc golf, and so I'm getting a lot of um quick signups for some of these
Right.
tournaments. So, which is not bad. I mean, that's great, but at the same time though, I'm trying to figure out why they're not doing as much this season. I'm not sure. I don't know if they're in preparation because I know there was a lot of cancellations last year because of storms. I don't know if they're just prepared for that and they're expecting that again to happen or not, but we'll obviously see what happens. But yeah, that's kind of what I've noticed.
Yeah, it should be like you said, it probably has to do with the storms and everything else
Mhm.
like that. It just kind of how it goes.
But yeah, so obviously the Supreme Flight Open just happened this weekend. If you didn't get a chance to watch it, definitely do. I'm sure now Jomez Pro has their um post recordings up now, or post edited up on their pages now. And then if
Hmm.
you want to just go on DGN, definitely go check that out. But man, it was just great to have disc golf back. It was truly amazing to launch. If you haven't got a chance, definitely please go and watch that. And if you're not a fan of watching FPO, because I know there's a lot of people don't like to watch FPO for some reason, but definitely do watch that final round. They actually had a three-way playoff, um, which was really cool. You had Ella Hansen, uh, Holland Hanley, and Evelina Solon trying to take it down, and it was really cool. Last hole 18, and Ella Hansen taking it down with two eagles back to back, which so cool to actually see her finally clutch a win like that because she always had a tendency of I felt that she always had a tendency of just kind of botching it and choking. So that was really cool seeing that. But it definitely, though, it was great to see her finally taking it down. And then also Peach Pirate with the Disc Mania, man. Ezra Robinson taking it down. NPO.
Oh, I know the discraft there that uh you know doing his thing. We swept it top four, all
I
discraft, not
know.
just first, all
I know.
just absolutely amazing. I am so glad that happened because being a fan of discraft that I am, extremely, extremely satisfying.
It's hard to not make it a team feel because they definitely we were talking about that with the commentating of just like it's very difficult because literally the top four and then there was at one point there was top six that were all discraft and it's just
Hmm.
like you kind of see it as like that whole factor of it. I mean, even with NASCAR and stuff like that, like even though there's different teams, a different, whatever, but you're also watching those manufacturers, you're seeing, four or five Toyotas winning it or whatever, or Fords or whatever. Just it's very interesting to see which ones are, taking the top. And the same thing with, disc golf. It's like it's just wild. The lead card of the final round were all discraft people, two fresh ones and you know, two players that are vets. Obviously, one of them is more of a vet on discraft, but still some, two vet players. It was just crazy to really watch that and to experience, four freaking discraft players on the lead card, trying to take it down. So that was really cool to see. And absolutely, I love that Ezra Iverson was finally able to take it down. And huge fan of him. And just truly, it's just cool to see a new player on a new plastic, new bag, new everything, and just taking it down like that. That's truly magical to see.
Yeah, I thought that was awesome. It's extremely cool to be able to see something like that. It's like you said, and I know last year, it's been a while. I know one of the podcasts towards the end of the year, I said Ezra's winning next year.
Oh, absolutely.
For sure, winning next year. And sure enough, got the W. Super stoked that that happened though. Um, really cool that it happened.
It's a cool selling point though. I mean, like I know it's difficult to say like, oh, it's the disc, and like I'm a believer, obviously, it's the person behind the disc, but at the same time, though, that sells. You're talking about somebody that just got on with new plastic, what, like 2 months ago, and all of a
Mm-hmm.
sudden he freaking wins the first tour stop. Like that kind of speaks for itself of like what is Discraft doing with their disc. Like I know they have a lot of more premium style disc and all that, but realistically, that sells. I mean, as a marketer myself and seeing that, I guarantee you they're just like, we nailed this one. And like that has to, I'm telling you, those discs are flying off the shelves, I feel.
Yeah, it just proves why I throw Discraft. All four, like I said, top four were all Discraft, and then on top of that, not only was the top four Discraft, then you got, you threw in three that were not, and the six and nine were both Discraft with I believe Jake Mon throws Discraft. I know Adam
Mhm.
Hammis does. Chris Chris Dickerson, number
Yeah, that's what
finished
I'm saying.
11th, Discraft. I'm not sure, or is it Austin Turner that throws Discraft? I can't remember, but there was a couple that in the middle that didn't, and then the rest do. So,
Yeah. Regardless, there's just if we were definitely choosing manufacturers overall this weekend, they freaking dominated. There's no explanation on that. And that's why I was kind of explaining as well. Like it's going to be very interesting to see how this pans out. Like obviously, Sarah and I both did really well with our manufacturers, better than I expected, honestly.
hmm.
So for Sarah picking Discmania, obviously she picks the freaking winner for FPO, which I just thought was insane. So that was really cool to see her like picking one, and dominate on that. And obviously, I'm not gonna diss MVP. Obviously, MVP is great, and
Oh no,
um,
MVP is,
Simon
and
had a hot round going,
hmm,
and
well, even
and
Eagle had a Eagle
absolutely.
finished 12th. He was in the running day two, and he was charging. So it could have been anybody's, but
What
Ezra just
issue?
played really well. And
Absolutely. And what issue with Silva, is she doesn't have the distance, and I always forget that these Florida courses you need to have
big distance, and
distance.
that course is wild.
And yeah, I
I
mean, like
that
I
that
forget.
course is extremely fun to watch.
I think I bit off a little too much having her technically win it. I was really hoping because like I was on a freaking MVP high. I mean, my
Hmm.
wild card, I picked Jeremy Colling. I picked Silva Saarinen, winning it for FPO, and I picked her for FPO manufacturer, and like, I was just on a high on it because I was just like, oh, dude, like gyro tech, you can't beat that. So it's just I was hoping, but I always forget that that course is definitely demands distance, and also there's a lot of elevation shots and stuff. And I was kind of hoping because they always talk about this course in Brooksville playing as more like a European style course. So I was really hoping that it will just kind of feel home for her. That's why I really picked it. But I just forget that this one has a lot of distance and it may have been just that, or she just had a bad break and just, also it's the first day or, the first tour stop. So a lot of people, get a little nervy. I don't know if you listened to the tour life yet, but Yuli
I have
was even
not.
talking about that, at the very beginning where he's like, you know, this is the first one, get a little nervous. He thought he came in like the day of, and there wasn't like a practice course, and so he just had the net, and he was just like, the back nine, he went +7, and he's just like, it was all nerves, like, it's the first one back, like you're not really expecting much, and so I feel like
Right.
everybody was in that where, you have a lot of people that take the off season and they legitimately take the off season where they don't pick it up a disc for a while. And then you have some that just grind out the off season, like Aaron Gossage and a couple other people, they just keep going. So you get a little mixture of both. So a lot of them, don't get that nervy feel, but at the same time, though, a lot of these pros are still getting, that nerves, on day
Hmm.
one. So overall, I think it was just a great weekend. You kind of want to run down points. I don't know if you have it
Uh,
in front of you.
y yeah, really quick, I will. And I so with me streaming on Twitch and YouTube and everything else, and the way the new programs work on there, I am live on my TikTok as well right now. And the real Jimmy Dean asked, "What is the most enjoyable moment in disc golf for us?"
Most enjoyable moment at disc golf. I didn't. First off, hi. I didn't know we were on TikTok. Um,
I just figured it out, so we're good to go.
well, thank you, Jimmy. What was it again? Most enjoyable.
Moments in disc golf for us. I want to say my favorite part of disc golf and moments is honestly just hanging out with the peeps. The
Yeah,
disc golf community is freaking awesome, always welcoming,
I think it
and super,
really
super cool.
to the T, especially when you're getting into a lot of the tournaments play, especially if you have some cool card mates. I think it comes down to community because you could have some bad apples and it's not fun. But I have to say the community, when you start having some really cool people to hang out with and talk to, it's really fun. Realistically though, I'm gonna be honest, like I'm a very much of like it's the little things in life. So even if it's just like a simple par, like
Hmm.
just parring out, or you get that first shot and you hit a tree like first available, and then all of a sudden you scramble out of that and you save par. To me, that gives me more of a feeling than getting a birdie sometimes. I'm gonna be completely honest. Like I get more butterflies in my stomach saving par than I do birdies at times. I'm gonna be honest.
My favorite moments too is getting aces. I'm just throwing it out there.
Oh, absolutely. I haven't got
Ty
one.
hasn't been able to
So
get one yet. I've
I've
gotten a couple
flashed
hole in ones,
chains
so
multiple times. Okay, first off, I that tournament I had five potential aces, which
they all flash chains and but like I
all
said,
flash chains.
once you finally get that ace, they come. Because, like I said, it took forever for me to finally get that first ace. Once I did, I've gotten what, five, six now, and four of them happened in the last, just this past year. So they do come and go. But briefly, I to go back to the points right now. So Rodney, which will be making her return
Debuted
next
next
week,
week.
yes,
Yes.
because she is it's a bye week or off week for the pros.
Yeah.
So we don't
She
really
only
need
comes on.
Rodney around right now. Yeah, she
No.
comes only during that time frame.
Hopefully she has some hot takes. I would like to
I'm sure she
she gets a
will.
little spicy on her hot takes. I hopefully she has something.
I have something spicy. She only got 1 point this week. She she scored 1 point with FPO. Didn't get any points for MPO, nor did she get the wild card.
Yeah.
Ty, you got 2 points for FPO, 1 point for MPO. You did not get the wild card, but you got 3 points. As for myself, for our fantasy, I was able to receive 5 points. I had three for FPO, one for MPO, and McBoost got my wild card for another point. Now for our new manufacturer cup, where we are running our own teams, I'm representing Team Discraft. Ty, you're representing Team MVP, and Rodney is representing Team Discmania. Rodney did come out though pretty good for the dub with Ella Hansen, and Kyle Klein finished up there. Burr had a really off week, which is crazy because think of how crazy her points would have been if Burr would have finished much better than he did. But
Absolutely.
still ended up with 96 points so far. Tie with MVP, you have 87, and I'm sitting at 103 with Team Discraft.
Which, yeah, we expected that. So, you know, like I said, like picking last, it's very difficult to pick just in general, which I'm not that's not an excuse at all.
No, no.
Absolutely.
And I think you would
But
have been, like I said, look at the
I'm
fact
thinking
that
I'm going for consistency, honestly.
Simon doing really well, and the fact that, again, Eagle was able to tie for 12th
Yeah,
already in his first tournament in the first, after last year trying to slowly come back and everything else. That's a good sign for Eagle. I think
absolutely.
that's a really good sign for Eagle, and I think it's a really good sign for MVP.
Absolutely.
Especially
And
Simon coming out here on fire instantly. Usually he slow plays his way back to where he needs to get to the
well,
point where he's
I mean, like honestly, like
on a roll.
I feel like he's going to treat this season a little bit differently because now he's doing a vlog every single
Hmm.
stop. So I think it's going to motivate him to really try. And obviously, when it's him though, so it's like he's going to come in and just like he says he's not going to care, but then there's moments that he is going to care. So,
Of course.
um, yeah, no, it all depends, but yeah, it's really good. I really think that it is fair regardless, and I'm excited to see where it's at. Also, this is the first stop. Like, I'm not too worried about it. Even Sarah was saying that too. She's like, I'm not really worried about it. Like, we're just starting, getting into it all. So we have a ton of disc golf left. So I'm excited to see this season just happen. It always throws me off when they do one and then all of a sudden they have like a bye week immediately and then go back to, a next, you have to wait for a whole 2 weeks. So,
Yep, yep. They're
um,
doing that a lot more though. I think they're giving players a more of a
well,
break
yeah, I mean, it's
in
travel.
between events now instead of just going boom, 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 boom.
I don't know the
They're giving
statistics, but like most of them are driving. So it's,
oh yep, a lot of them are.
you
Unless
know,
you're Paul or Ricky or
Simon,
Simon.
yeah.
They're all driving.
But it's like really think about it. They just got done with Florida. Their next stop is Waco, Texas. So
Yep.
it's like you're going from literally Florida to Texas. And from where I'm at to get to Dallas, Texas in Florida, where I live, it takes roughly 12 and a half hours.
Hmm.
Additionally, to get to at least to Orlando, I don't know where Brooksville is compared to Orlando. I'm assuming it's I think it's near Orlando because Calvin said he lives in Tampa. Obviously, he says it's an hour and 10 minutes from his house. So I'm assuming it's going to be Orlando area. So from my house to Orlando, it's another 6 hours. So you're talking roughly for people who are in their RVs or their vans or whatever, it's going to be roughly 18,
It
19 hour
it's
drive.
it's west of Orlando, close to the coast.
Yeah. So you're still talking about a 19-hour drive. Let's just say it like that to get to Brooksville, Florida, all the way to Waco, Texas. You know, that's, I mean, you could probably kill it in one day, honestly, but I mean, that's
Yeah, it's
a
15
long day.
hours. And if you want to avoid flood warnings, it's 16 hours.
That's
So
also accommodating traffic, and you're doing that. You're doing also that at 9:05 p.m.
Are we gonna get a? I mean, we'll talk about it next year, but I'm curious if we'll get a good old Luke Humphrey comeback next tournament due to the fact that he almost won Waco last year and he
Is he
he ruined
playing
it.
at all, or is he focusing on the go throw?
No, I think he's playing because there are only certain tournaments. They're only running like 5 tournaments.
Mm,
I'll have
okay,
to check the list when we get there because of course we still have a whole week to really give it a good breakdown.
absolutely. That makes sense. But yeah, other than that, though, is there anything that really stuck out to you this weekend?
No, it was a good time. I well, we still have putting woes from Evelina,
Absolutely.
unfortunately.
I think it's the
The off
pressure.
season didn't give her the what she needed. Holland Hanley just tough breaks, couldn't, doing what maybe it's gonna turn out to be a thing where Howland is just gonna be a slow ramp, like I'm gonna
She,
blow a lot of these, choke a lot of these, but as soon as you finally get to that where she gets rolling again, she'll be fine.
it's so windy outside.
Rainy?
It's so windy outside.
Oh, windy, yeah.
Something just fell on our roof.
Nice. Let's see. Cat Merch sneakily just tore it up towards the end. And even though, like I said, Silva, she didn't start out too hot, but she finished in sixth. So it's not like she did bad,
Yeah.
did really well. Ezra Midling had a good outing. Rebecca Cox is continuing to do her thing that she was doing last year. I will say Macy Veladiaz was a
That
big
was a
surprise. I
that was a
wasn't
shocker.
expecting her to play as well as she did, but she looked really good.
Not in a bad way, but really
No,
though,
no, not at all.
that was pretty awesome to say the least. Like I that was just cool to see her, especially with that kind of I want to use the word controversy, you know, controversy with the whole um DD situation where
Yeah, much back with Didi, so
yeah, obviously something worked out, but
yep,
hey, I mean, like, I'm not dissing it because she played very well. So whatever they struck a deal with, she did very great. So it's going to be cool to see her kind of be in the mix. I guess she is going to be in the mix. Kind of freaked me out for a second because there was a split second. I was going to pick Valerie Manahando, and she definitely was on the top for the first round. I was like, oh shit, like, are we going to actually see something happen with her? But then she dropped that immediately.
mm-hmm.
So I just don't. I don't see really much of a world that sad to say, but I don't really see much of a world of Paige Pierce ever being back on top again. Like I think
Yeah,
she
that's unfortunate. I don't
I
know. I really would like to,
I would like to see her do it, but I
yeah,
don't know. I and it's not in a bad way, but I definitely see her as a top 10 like contestant, but I don't really see her really taking it on. Maybe she might get a win this
right.
season. Maybe like
How fast
you
that
know,
injury just took her out of things. It's unfortunate.
but well, even then, a little bit before, she was a little, not really on that dice. After I think honestly, after that loss for Worlds,
Worlds, yeah, she's dropped
she's
off the
been
last
just
one
kind
since.
of like just in this weird decline. And but at the same time, I mean, I don't want to really talk too much about it because like obviously, you know, being in a sport for so long, it just, you know, I don't use the word comfortable, but definitely like when you get into that mode of just your routine and everything and just also new players are coming in like for example like Ella Ezra like
Mm-hmm.
everyone has eyes on her because they were talking about her when she was in juniors and she's now on top and guess what she's finishing up in the top tens and like she's taking bites potential wins and so it's going to be interesting once she really capitalizes herself because she has a distance and it's like once she figures it out and connects all the dots, she might be someone that we're going to be seeing a lot, winning and stuff. And it's just there's a lot of those of a lot of young of you know potential people that we could really see kind of take over. You got Emily Weatherman potentially, doing things. You got Cyan Anada. Like you got all of these amazing
That was
FPO.
playing really well. Yeah, there's a lot of good players right now,
Yeah,
which is
absolutely.
good. It's continuing to grow. That's what it's about. And Jimmy, basic advice for new players starting out with no prior knowledge for the sport.
Ooh, back at again with Jimmy. Okay. What was that again? Best advice
Base
for new
basic
beginners?
advice for new players starting with no prior knowledge of the sport.
Oh, basic advice. Um, Definitely stay away from distant drivers. You don't need that right now.
Hmm.
Definitely focus on creating your bag with just some mid ranges, to really just get the feel of some disc.
I would
So
say safe to say anything like 7 speed or down is safe to
yeah,
start with. Just go buy a couple discs, get yourself a putter, a mid range, and I mean honestly, just any good starter set.
yeah, definitely stay away from 7 speed and down. Like, or I'm sorry, definitely get 7 speed or down. Stay away from anything higher than a 7 speed.
And just go do it, honestly.
Yeah.
Like once you get out there and play it, you'll realize the love, and then you'll start getting collections. Excuse
Yeah.
me for moving my camera really quick.
You got to start just throwing.
Then you start building collections. But yeah,
And
you
just
just kind of got to start throwing, and after that, you will, you know, slowly and gradually get better. And also, don't worry about for if it takes somebody 2 shots to get to a 300 something foot basket or a shot to get there or a 400-foot hole and it takes them 3 shots to get there and it's taking you five, six, don't worry about it.
yeah,
Honestly, everybody went through the same thing because there
absolutely.
is a whole, just like any sport, there are fundamentals of how to throw a disc and everything else to the smallest details that the reason why these pros can throw 500, 600 feet, 400 something feet. If you can comfortably get to 300 something feet, fit 350 or something, you would be able to smoke a lot of courses. But don't worry about distance either right now. Just get out there, have fun, throw disc, and it'll all gradually grow on you.
Yeah, absolutely. I definitely would say just even watching just YouTube, just of like different just styles of it too. Like obviously don't mimic exactly what they do because obviously they found something that they like. For example, for me, um, I formed a I formed my driving because I kept releasing a little bit later. So I've realized that if I get more overstable disc, I'm able to throw the distance I need to throw.
Hmm.
Because I for some reason I just cannot stop releasing on time. So I definitely kind of formed my game with certain discs to be able to play better. So which you will learn as you play. So, but yeah, I'm great. I'm glad that you're asking questions because the whole point of this actual podcast is for amateurs because we are and still play as amateurs during the season. And obviously, you listen to a lot of podcasts with pros and stuff, but they really focus on what they're doing in pro tours as opposed to us. We love to focus on what we're doing as um, who play tournaments in the amateur realm. Um, all of that. And also, luckily enough, we actually are on, we are on a sponsored team, which is cool. But definitely, though, we really want to focus on, obviously we don't have this as a full-time job, but like obviously, Kyle works a full-time job, I work a full-time job, but during the weekends, we obviously play disc golf. And that's the whole point of creating this podcast is for the weekend warriors that plays um, disc golf mainly on the weekends or definitely more the evening times. So if you have any questions, please just drop them down, and I'm sure Kyle will say them out and we'll answer as much as we can. That's cool though.
Yeah, and other than that, speaking of courses and stuff, we have plenty of courses around. I'm sure there's plenty in multiple areas. And Ty, you're looking at multiple courses because you are finally getting some kind of list ready for your series that you're going to create for YouTube.
Absolutely. So if people who are listening, definitely I've been wanting to create this series for a while now, and I'm finally able to get down to the actual map of what I'm wanting to do. It's been a little bit sketch. I've realized there's actually way more courses than I expected, but a lot of them know I need a military ID to be able to get on the course. So I'm going to eliminate all of those. Obviously, we do know somebody that I could at least potentially get on his. I just got to figure out which one he's at. But until then, um, there are quite a few more than I expected. So I could literally go up to 15, but I'm actually right now, I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do 10 and then take a break after these 10 and then do the other like five that I could do.
Hmm.
So, I mean, it'll be probably that might be a part two continuations and see where they fit in the line. But I'm doing the first 10 that are more in my proximity. Most of them are still 45 hour to 2 hour distance, but it is what it is. Like at this point, I just have to just do it. So, but yeah, I'm creating a series to see which course locally is the quote unquote, I don't want to say the best course around me, but definitely just, yeah, honestly, the best course that we have to offer here at Northwest Florida. And because like I said, I feel like our community is good, especially like I live technically roughly an hour and 15 minutes away from Pensacola, which a lot of pros actually live there, like Eric Oakley, Paige Pierce. Those are the only two that pop in my head, but there's way more I know. And so I'm not doing any courses in actual Pensacola, but there are some courses that I have in mind that I'm planning on doing, with an exception of obviously the two that I normally do play, but I'm not going to be biased. But I do have something that I would need help with, and this is when you come in. And I want to categorize the this series with three different categories um to help with the grading process.
Difficulty.
So I have two topics or the two categories, but I want you, Kyle, to pick the third one.
Hmm.
And I'm gonna let you pick it. So that's so you're kind of a part of this as well. But the first two, and obviously I'm gonna do is in these three, I'm going to rate in each category, one being the worst, five being the best. And then once I'm done with rating in those three categories, I'm going to add the average, and I'll give an overall average of that course. And then what I'll do is obviously each week I will drop another one, and whichever one has the highest rating is the best course in my opinion. But obviously I'm going for these categories only. So, and
Right.
also it is going to be opinionated. So like it's probably going to be more done on, I'm going to try to, this is why I'm trying to create as much fairness as possible. And I'm going to be, this is why I'm going to do this way. And so for the first topic, it's going to be course design and layout. So that including meaning like, do they give you options for like a pro layout? Because like, for example, like Change Dragon, it gives you a pro T pad for all the holes? Um, and do they give you like some for intermediate and some for beginners? Like how does the course design, like how is it? Do they give you a variety of shots? Is it just all technical? Is it all woods? Is it all open? Like how is it? Like it does it give you any sort of challenge? So definitely that whole category alone is the number one. The second one is course maintenance and amenities. So obviously, does each hole have a tee pad of some sort? Does each hole have a sign? And if they do have a sign, is it like super graffitied up, or is it, are they nice? Are they, are they upkept? Definitely the maintenance of the course, like, and this kind of is going to be a little bit tricky because I know that there's difference for parks and rec. So I know like some people are voluntarily, or there's some that are just they just set it up in a park and they don't really like focus on it. But I definitely want to focus on and seeing, you know, are the community or just the park in general, like do they upkeep it just in sort of like a way? And all of this is going to be heavily done on UDisc. So it's not sponsored by UDisc, obviously, but I definitely want to see with my rating system, does it align with what the rated average it has on UDisc? So for example, if like Change Dragon has like a 4.8, is it actually a 4.8? That's the question. Like is it roughly in that range? So
Hmm.
obviously, like I said, I have the first category is course design and layout, and then the second one is course maintenance and amenities. I need you to pick the third one.
So would you consider your first one difficulty as well?
Mm-hmm. Course design and layout, I was going to just sprinkle in with the difficulty,
Hmm.
like the challenge and stuff, like because it's the design that makes it challenging. So
Right.
it's kind of like it's a generic umbrella of it all. So, or should it just be those two? Like, is it just that's it?
Because the fact that you can throw in with the difficulty, you can throw in like the what grading as in beginner, intermediate, pro type of course it is.
Yeah.
Because I know a lot of people would like to know that stuff too. Like, is this a beginner friendly course? Is it an intermediate course?
Well,
Is it
yeah,
a
and
yeah?
that's the only problem is like I was going to be a little bit difficult on the factor of if it doesn't really give you that options, I'm going to kind of like weigh it in. Obviously, I'm not going to like deduct an entire point just because they don't have
No, of course not.
keypads that are 150 out for beginners.
Hmm.
But I am going to reduce like a couple couple just point one decibel points that um you know depending on like how hard or how difficult, like it's you know it's different when it's like a if it's a
I
450 par three, like that to me is
since with you having kind of vaguely that and that and that, why don't you just do something simple like accessibility, like parking, how easy it is to get to the course?
oh yeah, that's perfect.
Because the first one option that you mentioned clears out a lot of the other things that I'm thinking beginner
Yeah.
friendly, blah blah blah, difficulty overall, scenery, course design and stuff. That's your scenery. Is there change of elevations? Is there,
Yeah.
like that's all kind of with that
It
first one.
all fits. That's what I'm saying is like when I said course design and layout, it fits everything, like to the point of is it am I in a course that deals with only like a random mozzarella sticks and like just random polls just to make it difficult or unnecessary
Hmm.
out of bounds, or you know every hole's an island hole, like how is it designed, how is it laid out, is it for pros, is it for beginners, is it you know does it give you any sort of variety of some sort, is it strictly water hazard, how is it, and just stuff like that. Course maintenance and amenities is the same thing of like you know is there any drinkable water nearby? Is there any restrooms nearby? Are there trash cans, near the things? It's, is the course just upkept? Like, meaning like, are the rough, still rough, but just a little bit,
Hmm.
trimmed in?
If you have trees
Are
involved, are the the fairways clean from trees
yeah,
and
or
yeah.
is it infested by spiders, or are
Hmm.
there snakes crawling all over the place? Because obviously I'm in Florida, so I'm gonna be dealing with a lot of like just weird terrain like that. I feel. I don't think I've actually. I'm fortunate enough to play three courses that are very good with maintenance. So, and I've only been to one of those where I've seen a wild animal, which that was um Change Dragon. I've seen a snake, but it was like across the pond. So luckily I didn't have to like worry about it. I've seen a couple snakes actually there. But other than that though, um, I'm so far I haven't seen an alligator, you know. I
Yep,
have
exactly.
I can eventually, but like I've seen only turtles. But it's just as of right now though, there's one that I'm kind of interested, which I think I have a really good clickbait. Not clickbait, but like I have a good thumbnail in mind. Apparently there's one course that they talk about it's super infested with spiders.
Mm.
So I'm kind of curious to see like is it actually infested with spiders? Because literally there's like five or six comments on UDisc saying that they had issues with spiders. So I'm kind of curious to see if that actually is true or not. So or
Right.
did they, did they read that and upkept that spot or area. So I'm really interested in that. I do think accessibility is great. Um oh also like yeah, because that all aligned with um even the course design and layout too. I didn't even mention this is even though I am using UDisc, I'm going to be kind of self-aware of would it be easy for a beginner or somebody who doesn't know what UDisc is?
Yeah,
Are they
like
able
direction, how
are
easy it
they
is
able
to
to
figure it out.
find are they able to find the next hole? That's
Yeah.
I'm going to be self-aware of that as well because I want to make sure that it's like I said, I'm going to be unbiased, especially for Change Dragon and Majet. Those two are my favorite, but obviously I want to make sure that if I wasn't using UDisc and if I had zero knowledge on this course, would it be easy for me to find the next hole?
Hmm.
And sadly, there's a couple that I could think of that I don't think they'll be able to because I'm thinking, especially on Chains Dragon, once you finish hole 10 and you have to go to 10B, you know how long that trek was.
Oh, that trek was long, and if you don't know where if you don't have U-disc or anything, you're going to be looking everywhere for it.
So that immediately has to be deducted a point because,
Hmm.
and like we haven't even started yet, but I don't think there's any signage that talks about it. So I have to fully look to see, but I want to make sure people are aware of that, of like, you know, if there was a beginner like Jimmy, who's starting, if you're still listening, like if he or she is playing, I don't know, I don't want to assume, um, if they're playing, will would they be able to find the next hole? And that's definitely one of those things I want to make sure is the design itself of like making sure that it aligns with all of these categories that I've came up with. I do like though because obviously I do use UDisc when I'm finding a hole or finding a course. What I love about UDisc is I don't know if you actually know this because I don't know if you use it as much as I do, but um the best thing that they've ever done is when you use the direction in UDisc, they actually have it penned on the map where hole one starts.
Hmm.
So it will actually take you through the parking lot all the way to where the first hole is. if they did it right.
Right.
So I absolutely love that. So, but yeah, that's kind of what it is. I don't know if you want me to go through the list. It's kind of difficult to like really go through it, but um, obviously I'm gonna just do the 10. Change Dragon, which is in Freeport, Florida. That's my main course. Probably I'm going to do that last, if not probably the middle. I don't want to start off with that one because obviously I've done it. So I want to probably do ones I haven't done before. That's how I don't want to start off immediately with a biased situation. So definitely Change Dragon. Then we have Bombers Run DGC, which I've just found out that Bombers Run I need a permit. So it's a pay to play. So I found out that it's at a park that you need a permit to be on, which is $5. So I have to get a permit for that, whatever.
Hmm.
So I'm gonna be doing that though. So I guess that's my only play to play, but at the same time, I think it's just to get on property. So I don't think it's actually the course itself. So I'm curious to see like how good it is because you actually have to pay to be there. And then we have Ferry Park, which I've done a tournament on before. That one was pretty cool, but I definitely want to do a cool breakdown on that one. The one thing about that one is I feel it's going to be difficult because it's you're shooting a lot of the times you're shooting through walk pathways and it's heavily peopledy. So that's going to be interesting. So hold on, that's one, two, three. Number four is called the View DGC in Crestview, Florida. Number five, there is Glen Argyle Pitch and Putt. Number six, Bogey Bayou TGC. Number seven, Pat Lunsford Blackwood Disc Golf Course. Number seven, Monster at Majet. Number eight, Gator Links at NLA. Number nine, Defunic Disco. And number 10, Pirate Cove at NLA.
Nice. As you said, we will see what that is all like in your videos.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I think I'm going to do like a quick introduction video. I'm going to try to probably get that done this weekend so I could launch that. I'm thinking what I'm going to do is I'm going to probably drop it every Monday. So I think this coming up Monday will be the first like just insight of like what I'm doing, how I'm doing it, just kind of lay out everything, kind of showing the style and just kind of talking about it and showing the list of the places that I'm gonna be at, and then kind of do the breakdown of like how I'm gonna be doing it. So that should be a pretty quick and easy one. But then after that, it's definitely gonna be, these videos might be a little bit longer because I am going to be talking about it and stuff like that. So this is more of the factor of really focusing on because I feel like everybody is they have several courses around you, and why is certain people going to only those courses? Like, what are they doing differently compared to others? And I kind of really
Hmm.
want to showcase that of I have all of these options around me, even though like they're a little bit further out, but out of all these options, why am I only going to this one? I mean, obviously I'm going by, comfortability. So the closest one for me is Freeport, Change Dragon, and like I like it, I enjoy it, but is it my favorite because it's close or is it my favorite because it's actually good? Like I don't know. So it's going to be definitely interesting to see what my mind would be different with it once I go through it and be able to try out new courses and just seeing are people going to courses because it's just closer, or is it because are they actually falling in love with a course and they actually will travel to that course? That's the whole
Hmm.
point of this series. So I'm excited for it.
definitely excited to watch them when you finally get there. Other than that, though, I am, like I said earlier in the podcast, playing a flex tournament this weekend. One round, start at 145. It's supposed to be 50 degrees, so that should be a good day up in Rockford. And I felt decent. Wasn't the greatest round I played over the weekend on Sunday for not playing for over a month,
Mm.
but my putt was pretty good. I was making a lot of putts. This Luna feels fantastic.
That's
So
good.
looking forward to that. Playing a course blind as I always play courses always blind.
Yeah, that's probably what I'm doing with iOS. I don't, unless we have the opportunity to travel up there that Saturday. I'm gonna have to probably play it blind.
Other
So,
than that, that's what I have going on.
oh, I
Oh,
don't even know we won't be able to play it on Saturday because they have a tournament on
yeah,
that Saturday.
that tournament's this Saturday. Yep.
So I'm gonna have to play it blind. Yeah, there's no way unless we get it there on Friday, but I don't think we're getting in on Friday, so that's gonna be that's gonna be difficult. So, but yeah, I'm excited to see. Obviously, we'll follow. I'll follow the tournament. Hopefully, you do well there. But other than that, I think that's wraps up this weekend for
Yeah,
our
as you
podcast.
said. Yep, as you said. Next week we will get into the Waco,
Hmm.
get our picks in and everything else. Ronnie will be back for that.
We'll talk about your breakdown on your one round.
Yes, my flex. See where I finish up. I'm not sure how many people are signed up for MA3. Actually, let me look really quick. There's 101 total signed up. MA3.
Is it like just like
26.
a tea time?
Yep, tea time. Teeing off at 145.
Nice.
It's the Screw City Flex Series 1. The guys in Rockford put on a series, so if you get the top 5 or 6, you get points towards the series. If you win, you get a free entry to the last tournament in September. So we'll see how this goes. I'm excited to play. I'm gonna go play with Josh Maverick, and I found out someone named Travis Brown that we know signed up as well for our tea time. So it'll
Cool.
be a fun card. We all know each other, of course, all different divisions, except Josh. I'm not sure if Josh is playing MA3 or not. What's he playing?
Sounds like
Yep,
fun.
he'll be playing. Yep, it'll be me versus Josh. So that'd be fun.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then for anybody on TikTok, head over to our YouTube Weekend Warriors Disc Golf podcast. That is where the post-produced full episode will be released tomorrow.
And we have several other ones if you're new.
Several everyone's if you're new.
41 of them. This is
Myself, KG Disc Golf. Just look that up for on YouTube for my own personal videos. Tie Guy Disc Golf for
absolutely.
yours.
Yep.
Personal videos. We have our own content we make. I haven't had anything updated in a while just because of being
Me,
cold.
well,
It's the
yeah, me
off
either. But
season.
it's off season and also people we've new people that are on. Once again, we we took a kind of like we take January off. So
Mm-hmm.
February and March is kind of like a kicking back in.
Revamp. Yep.
But what I was talking about with my whole series, you'll be seeing that on my YouTube. So definitely go and follow that too if you want to. But anybody that are on TikTok now, which this is all news to me, and we're he's very excited to be on TikTok for the first time ever. But we will be on TikTok live every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Central Time. So definitely next Wednesday, make sure you come back at 8 p.m. Central Time, and we'll be
Mhm.
on and cranking and doing our thing. And if you guys are enjoying this and want more, then obviously we might try to go live then more, maybe during the pro tours or something, and kind of talking about that like during the weekend or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. That'd be fun. And then, of course, I am live over at Twitch as well. That's Kairu86 though for my Twitch, my gaming name. And yeah, I think that's everything. Use our codes if you are new into disc golf and want some discounts off some stuff, head over to gravitydiscgolf.com. Use code KG10 for 10% off and
Die DG10.
Ty DG10
Hmm.
for Ty's discount code. But yeah, get yourself a little discount on all your stuff,
Awesome.
especially if you're looking to get into it.
Well, if that's the case, my name is Ty, and I have Kyler with me, and we are the Weekends Warrior Disc Golf Podcast, and we are signing out.